Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are fine and doing well. Myself, Shweta Mal, is again here to teach you class 8 biology from Green Valley English School. In our last class, we started the chapter ecosystem, and in that we studied about biotic and abiotic components. And as I told you that abiotic components are all the non-living components and biotic components are living components. Okay, today we will study about interaction between biotic and abiotic components. Before coming to the topic interaction between biotic and abiotic components, let us have a quick review of the things which we have studied earlier. Ecosystem. What is an ecosystem? A system formed by the interaction of living organisms with one another and with their environment is called as ecosystem. Example is forest, grassland, pond, field, river, lake and sea. It consists of two components, abiotic components, those that are non-living components, and biotic components that are living components. Abiotic components of an ecosystem. Physical factors such as pH value, temperature, light, intensity, humidity, topography, microclimate and the adaptive factors, that is physical and chemical composition of the soil. All these factors affect the life and the distribution of organism. The pH value of the soil and water affects the distribution of organism. Most organisms live in a neutral and nearly neutral environment, that is pH 7.5. Maize, pineapple grows well in acidic condition. Coconuts grow well in alkaline conditions. And as you know, temperature affects the biochemical in the organism, like poikilotherms that cannot control their body temperature. Their body temperature varies with the environmental temperature. Homeotherms can maintain their body temperature more widespread. Plants and animals have specific characteristics to help them to adapt areas of extreme temperature. Light intensity affects the rate of photosynthesis. As I told you earlier, the distribution of green plants will be more extensive in areas with a higher light intensity. All organisms that live in the soil prefer a dark environment. Humidity of air affects the rate of transpiration, that is plants, and the rate of evaporation in animals. Some organisms can control and have an extensive distribution. Some cannot control, such as frogs, snails, earthworms, and moths are more suited to live in damp places. Topography, shape of the earth's surface, altitude, height, less organisms. Temperature, atmospheric pressure and air humidity are low. Different plants are found at different altitudes. Gradient or slope affect the rate of water flow. In steep areas, the swift flow of water causes soil erosion. Flat areas, the water is stagnant, both not suitable for plants and animals. Aspect, the direct facing or opposing the wind and sunlight. Areas facing not suitable less organisms. Microclimate, the climate in a small habitat. Climate in soil, climate below tree trunk, has specific temperature, humidity, light and intensity. Biotic components of an ecosystem. The living organisms in the ecosystem are categorized into three groups: producers, consumers and decomposers. What are producers? Producers are green plants that can carry out photosynthesis to produce their own food. Consumers feed on plants and organisms, and that is also categorized into different things like herbivores who eat only plants, carnivores who eat flesh and omnivores who eat both flesh as well as plants. Decomposers, bacteria and fungi that break down dead plants and dead animals into simple substances. A feeding relationship between the biotic components, that is food chain, obtain energy. And as I told you that we will start with the topic interaction between biotic and abiotic components, means the interaction between the living and non-living components. The various biotic and abiotic components, what happens, interact with each other. There is a system of give and take between them. The abiotic components provide nutrients to the producers and the producers make food for the consumers. When producers and consumers die, they are decomposed by decomposers and recycled into the environment as abiotic components. The nutrients are again taken by the producers, thus no organism can live independently. Because of the interaction, a balance is maintained in nature. What I told you, interaction between biotic and abiotic components, that is living and non-living components. The various biotic and abiotic components, what happens, they interact with each other and there is a system of give and take between them. There is a system of giving as well as taking between them. The abiotic components provide nutrients to the producers and the producers make food for the consumers. When producers and consumers die, what happens? They are decomposed by the decomposers and recycled into the environment as abiotic components, and these nutrients are again taken by producers. Okay, thus no organism can live independently, means they are dependent on each other. Because of the interaction, a balance is maintained in nature. We were talking about food chain and food web. We have studied that all the biotic components depend on each other for food. In an ecosystem, the living organisms, that is biotic community, have a pattern of feeding. Okay, the producers are eaten by the herbivores. The producers are eaten by the herbivores. The herbivores in turn are eaten by the carnivores. Carnivores may be further be eaten by other larger carnivores. Okay, so in this process, the food energy is transferred from plants to herbivores to carnivores to larger carnivores who feed on them. What I told you? I told you that, as you know, that biotic components are dependent, abiotic components and biotic components, they both are interdependent on each other, and the living organisms, that is biotic community, have a pattern of feeding and the producers are eaten by herbivores. So the herbivores in turn are eaten by carnivores and carnivores may be further eaten by other larger carnivores. Okay, and in this process the food energy is transferred from plants to herbivores to carnivores to larger carnivores who feed them. We can represent such interlinking of organism obtaining nutrition by food chain. What is food chain? Food chain is a sequence of organism in which an organism is eaten by the next organism in the chain. So what is food chain? Food chain is a sequence of organism in which an organism is eaten by the next organism in the chain. It is a chain of eating and being eaten. What is it? It is a chain of eating and being eaten. For example, in forest, grass is eaten by grasshopper. Okay, and grasshopper is eaten by a frog. A frog is eaten by a snake and snake is eaten by a eagle. So when the eagle dies, what happens? It is decomposed by decomposers such as fungi and bacteria. So is it a food chain? What I told you, suppose that you are taking a forest. In a forest, many grass is there. So grass is eaten by grasshopper, yes, and grasshopper is eaten by a frog, and frog is eaten by a snake. Snake is eaten by a eagle, and when the eagle dies, what happens to him? It decomposes. And who are the decomposers? Who decomposes it? Fungi and bacteria. The feeding pattern in a community are much more complex than simple linear chains. It is rather rare to be seen an organism feeding only on one type of organisms. Okay, usually each organism feeds on raw or more kinds, in turn is eaten by several other kinds of organisms. Some animals like cockroaches, crows, including humans, are omnivores. Okay, including we human beings are omnivores. This means they eat both plants as well as animals. Hence, several food chains are interconnected under natural conditions. This network of food chain is called as food web. What is this network of food chain called? This network of food chain is called as food web. What is the example? Grass or plants may be eaten by a grasshopper, okay, as well as by a rabbit, okay, as well as by cattle and deers. Each of these are herbivores and may be eaten by number of carnivores like frogs, birds, snakes, tiger, okay, depending on their food habits. Thus, an organism can be a part of many food chains, okay. So, when several food chains get interconnected, it becomes a food web. What does it become? A food web. A food web shows complex interrelationship among organisms. Okay. So, a feeding relationship between the biotic components, that is food chain, obtain energy. Each level of food chain to trophic level, that is grass, is eaten by grasshopper. Grasshopper is eaten by a frog, and frog is eaten by a snake. Okay. Several food chains interact to form a network, as I told you, and that is called as food web. Energy transferred from one trophic to other trophic level. So here you can see a terrestrial food chain and a marine food chain. What happens? Plant is eaten by a herbivore. Any herbivore, plant is eaten by, like grasshopper. And then the grasshopper or anything or any herbivore is eaten by a carnivore. And then again it is eaten by a superior carnivore, and then again it is eaten by a superior carnivore, and then at the last it decomposes by the decomposers. Say now, plant is a primary producer, then next herbivore is the primary consumer, and then the next carnivore who eats the herbivore is the secondary consumer, and the next carnivore is tertiary consumer, and the next one is quaternary consumer. Next again we will see a marine food chain. Suppose that a phytoplankton is eaten by a zooplankton, and a zooplankton is eaten by a carnivore, and then by a superior carnivore, and again then by a superior carnivore. Now, every food chain starts from sun. Okay, most of the green plants can prepare their food and are producers. All organisms depend directly or indirectly on green plants, but we must remember that in the sun gives solar energy to plants, and they convert this solar energy into chemical energy of food. So all the food chain starts from the sun. No life exists on earth in its absence. Energy from sunlight, that is 90% of energy is lost. Green plants, they are producers, they take the energy. Then green plants are eaten by grasshopper, grasshopper is eaten by a bird, and then a smaller bird is eaten by a eagle. The number of organisms in each level level in a food chain can be represented by a pyramid of numbers. The first trophic level, that is producer, at the base of the pyramid. Okay, so what I was talking about, I was saying that every food chain starts from the sun, and as you know that most of the green plants can prepare their own food and are producers, and all the organisms depend directly or indirectly on the green plants, and green plants need sun to manufacture their food. But we must remember that sun gives solar energy to plants, and they convert this solar energy into chemical energy for food. So all the food chain starts from the sun, and no life on earth is there in its absence. So what is flow of energy? Green plants trap the solar energy and converts it into chemical energy, and the food chain starts with the green plants. Food chain starts from conversion of solar energy into chemical energy of food by green plants, and the stored energy is transferred from one organism to the other dependent organism. For instance, when green plants are eaten by herbivores, the stored energy in plants is transferred to the herbivores. The herbivore will use some energy and some part of this energy to perform the light process, while some part of energy will be stored, and this stored energy is further transferred to the carnivore who feeds on the herbivore, and flow of energy goes on. Thus, the energy transferred from an organism to the other decreases step of the food chain. So this was all about interaction between biotic components of environment and energy flow. And what we studied about? We studied about food chain, we studied about food web. Energy food chain starts from the sun and flow of energy. Okay, now in our next class we'll study about types of ecosystem. Thank you, students.